All right, thanks, Jamie. New reaction today to the automatic spending changes that kicked in last week. President Obama and Republican Senator Jeff Sessions speaking out in their weekly addresses. Listen.
You deserve better than the same political gridlock and refusal to compromise that has too often passed for serious debate over the last few years. And that's why I've been reaching out to Republicans and Democrats to see if we can untangle some of the gridlock. Earlier this week, for example, I met with some Republican senators to see if there were smarter ways to grow our economy and reduce our deficits than the arbitrary cuts in the so-called sequester that recently went into place.
Government has never been bigger or more out of control. They say there is no problem with waste, fraud, and abuse. They say the problem is you. They say you are not sending them enough money. They say they have wisely spent every penny, so you must just send them more. And if you don't, well, they won't stop spending. They'll just borrow more. These destructive policies cannot continue.
Senator Sessions challenging whether the government is using taxpayer money wisely. And just this week, the White House canceling tours, saying it's an effort to cut spending. But Washington is still approving millions for other projects that often affect far fewer people. Some of them not even in America. Joining us now on this topic, two Fox News contributors, Deneen Borelli, the director of outreach for FreedomWorks and author of the book Blacklash, also Jehmu Greene, former president of Women's Media Center. Ladies, thanks for joining us this afternoon. So is the government doing the right thing here? Are we seeing the president do the right thing in the White House by shutting down its tours? Jehmu, I'll begin with you.
Well, Kelly, Jeff Sessions has a certain way with words when he says that the government has never been bigger. Actually, since President Obama took office, government jobs have decreased by over 500,000. So we can, be illustrative in the way that Senator Sessions was trying to do, or we can deal with actual facts. And the facts are that, once again, we just saw on Friday, 236,000 private sector jobs added to our economy. This sequester is taking all of that wonderful traction that our recovery has finally been able to get. And anyone who knows anything about traction, when you get traction, if you're stuck in the mud or if you're stuck in the snow, once you get going, you don't get out of your car, go back and look at it, add more mud to your tires, and then expect to be able to
Kelly,
yet again start moving.
What this debate has done is expose President Obama as the scaremonger in chief, because the political strategy that he implemented with the sequester, what he is doing is scaring Americans, even little children. His political plan didn't work. It totally backfired on him. So what is he doing? He's scaring Americans into thinking that he had nothing to do with the sequester. It wasn't his fault. And look at all this outrageous destruction that's going to happen.
Deneen. That's not
absolutely
true.
Let me make a point here.
Irresponsible.
Ladies, let me make a point right here, because $44 billion from this fiscal year, it was reported that would cause agony, of course, at the airports, security snarls, uninspected meat. We have not seen that take place yet. So is it Chicken Little that we're seeing experience here right now? And does it hurt the Obama administration when you look at what's going on with St. Paul's Lutheran School, sixth graders trying to get into the White House and being told they can't because of the sequester?
He's playing Chicken Little. Listen, he's scaring the American people. You just rattled off a list of things that have not happened, have not taken place, and yet he's even scaring little kids. I mean, how low can you go? But these kids are scared today because the White House tours are closed down. Imagine what's going to happen with them years and years from now when they are much older and they are faced with all of this massive debt that our country is experiencing.
Is it really scaring little kids, or this kids just being disappointed they can't tour the White House?
Well, this is what they're seeing, and it's another tactic
Deneen,
that our president is using.
Jehmu?
These kids, I feel sorry that they're not going to be able to go on the White House tour, but let's stop talking about these piddlywink numbers. Let's, basically, has anyone here played spades? When you are going to, talk about numbers, you either go big or you stay home. What about the billions of dollars in tax subsidies for the oil companies, the billions of dollars in tax subsidies for the pharmaceutical companies that make obscene profits? If we want to talk about cuts, let's
talk
go
about
to those tax loopholes.
Ladies, let me get some word in.
All the billions of dollars that are going to profitable
Deneen,
companies.
As long as we're talking about money, let's talk about what some watchdog groups have uncovered, according to Wall Street Journal. Journal through a column there by Kimberly Stresso. It points out that they've learned that the White House employs 3 calligraphers. We're talking about where the money goes because there's been some talk about spending. Now, that's $277,000 for the White House calligraphy. There's also the Environmental Protection Agency giving $141,000 to fund a Chinese study on swine manure. And part of a $325,000 National Science Foundation outlay went to building a robotic squirrel.
How's
Now,
that for
isn't
waste,
there a
fraud,
better
and
way to be
abuse?
spending our money, Jehmu and Deneen, as we look at this sequester? Jehmu, to your point, if we're going to really galvanize this economy, shouldn't we just be doing something wise throughout Congress and throughout government, whether it's from the president or members of Congress?
Oh, for sure. And Congress has been treating our economy like it's a pinball machine where we've been careening from crisis to crisis. But, Kelly, look at those numbers you're talking about, tens of thousands of dollars. I think the American people are more concerned, again, about the billions of dollars that go to pharmaceutical companies that make hundreds of billions of dollars a year. Why should we be subsidizing them? That is what the president is saying, that we have to have a balanced way of approaching this.
Let's not miss the point here. And I think, Deneen, you also see this point as well. We can't talk about these kinds of expenditures and then we're shutting down the White House, the people's house, from visits. I mean, are we spending throughout the sequester are we doing this wisely?
No, it's outrageous. And listen, how about all the crony capitalism that is going on under President Obama's watch? General Electric is a profitable company, and they've gotten away with billions of dollars from the American people, and it's a profitable company. I mean, listen, we need better leadership in Washington, and we need to cut spending. That is what we need to do, and Obama needs to stop scaring the American people, because I think that's a poor judgment in his leadership.
Well, Jehmu will give you the
Deneen,
last
those
word
are
there.
just the same old, tired, stale talking points from the Republican Party.
No, it's a
that
fact.
don't want
He's
to
scaring
address
people instead of talking about the facts that are on the table,
stop.
and I think
Let
it's
me
outrageous.
finish.
No,
Let
you
me
stop.
finish.
Deneen, let me give her the last word, Deneen. Let me give Jehmu the
Deneen
last
doesn't want to
word.
address the fact that even though we added 236,000 jobs in February, 36 months of
And a lot
private
of
sector
part-time
job growth,
jobs are leaving
Deneen,
because of Obamacare.
Okay,
here's
maybe
a
we're not
gift
going to get
for
the last
you.
word
Here's a
because this
gift
debate
for
will
you.
likely continue. Ladies, we're running out of
10,000
time. Jehmu
The
Greene, Deneen Borelli, look, we thank you both. Obviously, what you're echoing is exactly the sentiment right there in Washington, where the Republicans and Democrats can't seem to agree on how to move forward, even after having a sequester hit us. And hopefully it will not hit us as hard as has been predicted. Thank you both.
Thank you.